So again somebody is late. Okay, so today we are going to discuss on a very important topic of our syllabus, that is group discussion, and that is abbreviated as GD. G stands for group, and discussion D stands for discussion, right? So we are going to have basic ideas and important points regarding group discussion. What is group discussion, and what is the basic concept of group discussion, why it is necessary to have a group discussion. So we will stress on the word group with discussion. Why group, why not individual, why not something else, why group discussion is important, and some other techniques, some skills how to have group discussion properly. So let's have a brief notion what is group discussion basically. So as you see in the screen, that a particular number of people meet face to face, and through free oral interaction they develop, they share, and they discuss ideas. So the basic point is that a number of people will meet face to face. Okay, now online group discussion is also one kind of group discussion, but by the concept group discussion, it is always meant that a group discussion means there will be a number of people physically present, and they will have talk among themselves. That is basically called group discussion. So there will be a particular number of people, and they will have face to face communication with face to face physical presence, and through their free oral interaction they will develop, they will share, and they will discuss ideas. Okay, various ideas depending on their needs. Group discussions are widespread in the global village. As you know, we don't say globe or the world, rather the world is transformed into the global village, because you can have the globe at your command at any time. Now it is nothing, the sense of remote is there. The remote place is no longer present at all. Okay, everything is very close to us, we can reach at will. Okay, so that's why the world is transformed into this expression, global village. Okay, so group discussion are widespread in the global village, as you know very clearly, of course, in many forms, like many organizations for decision making and problem solving. Now this is basically hinting at the professional fields, at the workplaces where group discussions take place. Okay, so this is not referring to the personal spheres or domestic spheres or private spheres in a larger sense, but this is mainly referring to the workplaces where official group discussions take place. Okay, now there are different techniques, different formats in group discussions in Indian workplaces. Have different techniques, have different formats. In group discussions in United Nations have different techniques, different formats, different patterns. Okay, but what is the basic point? The basic point is that group discussion is everywhere. Okay, that conversation is important. Doesn't matter what kind of format you follow, or doesn't matter what kind of columns or elements that you cover. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the necessity of having the group discussion, right? They are also used widely as a personality test for evaluating several candidates simultaneously to select personnel for positions of responsibility. Now, let me tell you one thing, that have you heard the exam, IELTS exam? that mainly takes place for Canadian jobs, jobs in Canada, workplaces in Canada. So if you appear in IELTS exam and if you qualify that, so you have to go through a number of tests practically, right? Yes. So if you want to qualify IELTS and you perhaps you qualified, but after that there will be a number of oral tests, and within the oral test there will be a number of rounds depending on different topics and different patterns of exam. Oral exams or interview, short interviews will keep on going, 5 to 6 interviews will keep on going. Okay, and one is dependent to another, you cannot skip, you have to qualify one after another, otherwise you may be disqualified. So the point is that what is the point here, that they are also used widely as a personality test. In one of the rounds of interview after qualifying IELTS exam, for example, so you will be asked to have a group discussion with some of other participants, some of the other candidates. Okay, and you will be under surveillance, all of you, that team, that number of people who will be having group discussion will be under surveillance, CCTV surveillance. Okay, and they will see what kind of you have to talk, you have to note down some points. Okay, there will be certain formats which you have to follow, and they will listen to you. Okay, they will be able to listen to you, what kind of group
हेलो
discussion.
सर.
Yes.
सर वो देवेश ऐड नहीं हो पा रहा है, नेटवर्क इश्यू है उसका. ऐड कर.
Okay, so what I was saying is that you have to qualify all the rounds of the interview, and in that particular round you will be seen that you will be having a group discussion with other candidates, and they will listen what you are saying, how you are behaving, and after that they will take back your notepad, that what are the points that you have made. Okay, so that is also very important phase. So group discussion, you need to have a proper group discussion, otherwise you may not qualify in exam like IELTS. Okay, because when you will go to that particular workplace, Canada in particular, in that case, so you need to have group discussion abilities to communicate with people over there who will be completely different from you. So it is necessary for you to communicate with them in a proper, appropriate manner. So that's why group discussion is very much important, and that group discussion will be a kind of template, will be a kind of point to test, to measure your personality, right? So that's why group discussion are also used widely as a personality test for evaluating several candidates simultaneously to select personnel for positions of responsibility, especially in the service sector, also to select students for admission to professional institutes. So if you are pursuing for administrative positions, if you are pursuing for academic positions, whatever, any kind of academic positions or any kind of administrative positions like registrar or director or assistant manager or financial in charge, whatever, or in academic position, teacher, professor, assistant professor, reader, whatever kind of academic position you pursue, you have to go through this group discussion, which will show your personality test. So this is very much important. Now let's see. Let me check if somebody is waiting. Okay. So speaking in group discussion. Okay, now how to speak in group discussion, that is very important. Okay, I have to be very quick today because there are many points to be covered up. So listen carefully. speaking in group discussion. Now, number one, seize the first opportunity to speak if you have a good understanding of the topic of discussion. So you must seize the opportunity, you must grab the opportunity to speak if you have a good understanding of the topic of discussion. Okay, you should have a proper sense regarding the topic. Okay, next, listen patiently to others and react, and then react to their viewpoints. So you know all of us are maybe all of us may be a good speaker, but may not be good listener. We need to learn how to be a good listener first. This is important. We need to be a good listener. Okay, listen patiently. We just have group discussion to speak, only to speak, but not to listen. We listen less and speak much, and that is not a proper way to have the group discussion effectively. Okay, so we need to listen patiently to others and then react to your viewpoints. Okay, to their viewpoints. Next, speak clearly and audibly so that everyone hears and understands. Okay, speak clearly and audibly so that everyone hears and understands. Now this is important. You should not keep having a humming sound. किसी का ऑडियो अनम्यूट है, म्यूट कर दो प्लीज. Speak clearly and audibly so that everyone hears and understands. So you should not have humming sound while speaking something. You should be clear. Your tone should be clean, and so that it can be understood to everyone. Next is be concise in your expression. ऑडियो किसका अनम्यूट है वो म्यूट कर दो. शुभम तिवारी. Anyway, so be concise in your expressions. You need to be concise. Don't speak much. Try to wrap it up in a simple sentences and ask for clarification if necessary. You give your talk, and if somebody is not able to understand what you said, you must ask them if they need any more clarification or not. Okay, facilitate contribution from others. Okay, try to give some contribution from others. As we say, as Mr. so and so has already talked, this is how you should use others' invaluable contribution while you speak. Okay, use statistics and examples to justify your viewpoint. Okay, you should not justify your views in the air. You have to authenticate with a number of evidence. Of course you may be right, of course you may be proper, you are quite justified, but that is something that you believe. You cannot make others believe. Okay, if you want to make others believe, you have to make others believe only by authenticating with evidence. That is very much important. Suppose you know a theory of your subject and you are expert at that particular theory, and you are expert to apply that particular theory somewhere, but you are having a lack of data to justify that theory. So you should be careful to authenticate that formula, that theory with a proper evidence. Only that can be justified. Justification of particular idea without evidence is not appropriate, cannot be authenticated. It has to be authenticated with the data, with the evidence. Next point is avoid talking to only one or two persons in the group. It is, people are in the habit of doing this kind of things, that we should avoid. We should avoid talking to only one or two persons. If somebody is familiar face to us, then we only communicate to that person, not with others. So this is not a proper behavior which can be seen, in group discussion, which should be avoided. You must be unanimous, you must be consensual. That means you must speak to equally with everyone, okay, or at least you must speak to most of the persons involved. Assume a impersonal tone. You must assume a impersonal tone. You should not comment with your personal impressions. You must make it professional. Be assertive without being aggressive. This is very important. Be assertive but not aggressive. But we start being assertive but end with aggression in group discussion. And if there is any chance of political debate, political topic, then the one sentence will go with assertiveness and the rest of the discussion will become aggressive, already, right? So it is necessary for us to stay assertive, instead of becoming aggressive. Raise your voice and speak out a strong point. You must raise your voice and speak out a strong point. You should maintain, you should compose, you should temper your tone, temper your voice, so that everybody can understand. Okay. Conclude objectively by briefly presenting the important points of the discussion and any decisions taken. So you need to, if you are a host, if you are a speaker, or if you are told, if you are asked to conclude some points, then you have to conclude presenting important points of the discussion. And if any conclusions, decisions or solutions taken up, then you have to also read them. Okay. So these are the guidelines how to speak in group discussion. Very important question. First question, how to speak in group discussion. Discuss. So you have to write all these points with proper explanation. Next is discussing problems and solutions. You know what should be the idea. All of you must have the rough idea of this point. Everyone knows about it, but still it is necessary for us to have some systematic points while facing this as a question in exam. Then we need to know what to write, though we know rough idea about it. So discussing problems and solutions. Number one, in a discussion, identifying the problem can sometimes be a little challenging, right? So it is necessary to identify the problem first. Sometimes it really becomes difficult for us to identify, to recognize the problem. Next is, the problem can be related to personal, social, physical, mental, organizational aspects. Okay. It can be your personal problem. Suppose you are suffering from personal issues and you are not able to identify the problem that is going on. It can be social problem. In your community there is problem going on, and as a social person you are not able to identify. Physical problem, suppose any problem has happened in your body or somewhere in the body and you are not able to identify. Or organizational, suppose where you work some problem happened and you are not able to identify the problem. So discussing, it is necessary to discuss the problem. If it is a personal problem, share with your friends, share with your partners, share with your parents, okay, and find out the problem. If it is a social problem, discuss the problem with your community neighbors. If it is physical problem, discuss again. Personal and physical are quite related in some way. So if it is a physical problem, then you must consult the doctor and go through proper medication. So before that you need to discuss it. Before that you need to identify it. If you are having some problem with your physical body, then you must be open to discuss it. There are certain issues that people are scared of or people are shy about. That should not be the thing. So for that, you that person has to come out and discuss, identify the problem, so that it can be rectified properly. Then mental problem, if you are suffering from any psychological issues, then again you must discuss the problem. It depends on whom you will discuss, you know better. Okay, nobody but you know better to whom you are going to discuss problems and come with solutions, right? To whom you are going to discuss personal problems, you know better. To whom you are going to discuss social problems, you know better. To whom you are going to discuss with physical problems, you already know better. Or mental problems, you know better. Or organizational problems, you know better. To whom you are going to discuss the problem, whether you should go to discuss the problem with the higher authority, or with your colleague, or with somebody else, or with senior, or with your friend. That depends on your mindset, that depends on your surrounding. Okay, but it is necessary to have the discussion, to identify the problem and find out the solution. That is the thing. So once the problem is identified, it is necessary to get into the discussion about finding the solution, already I said. So multiple perspectives to work out the problem can be utilized. So it would help us to use multiple lens, multiple angles to work out the problem, to solve the problem. Okay, so that's why discussing problems and solutions is important. It is very common to us, but we do not give importance to this thing. If you apply this idea in our daily life, so that can be very much implementable, that can be very much useful. Okay, there are so many problems in our life, right? If I have some personal problem, I have a select set of people with whom I will discuss that problem. If I have a social problem, then I have a select number different other set of people with whom I will discuss. So it is necessary to discuss the problems and find out the solutions, right? So in group discussions also it is necessary to be cultivated. Next is creating a cordial. Cordial means very much happy, very warm hearted, very happy. Okay, we say cordial welcome in greeting cards. Creating a cordial and cooperative atmosphere. Now in the group discussion in GD, we need to create a cordial and cooperative atmosphere. Otherwise group discussion will not become lively. Now many people watch Sandeep Maheshwari motivational speakers, many people watch so many other motivational speakers are there. So somebody may like, somebody may not like, that's a different issue. But the point is that if anybody likes Sandeep Maheshwari's motivational shows, for example, then definitely that person finds the discussions very lively, very enjoying, very entertaining, very fun. It was great fun to listen to him for that person, perhaps, possibly. So why? Because there was a cooperative atmosphere. People are smiling, people are enjoying what Sandeep is saying, right? So that is the point. You need to have cordial and cooperative atmosphere in group discussion. Now the first point is listen to others' viewpoints with an open mind and interest. You know this point. You understand it very clearly, that we need to listen to others' points with an open mind and interest. We should not be biased. We should not be partial. Then respect others' ideas and try to understand the speaker's perspective. Now it is necessary to respect others' ideas. Others' ideas may differ, what you say, what you believe, what you think, but you need to respect the difference. That is very much important. You may not be you belong to a particular religion and the other person does not belong to a particular religion. That doesn't mean that you will not love the person, you will not appreciate the person. Yes, there is a difference, but difference is beautiful, right? So you need to respect the difference. So that is what is also applicable in group discussion. Next point is develop mutual trust among each other. it is necessary to develop mutual trust. Avoid being too formal with others. बहुत ज़्यादा formal भी नहीं होना चाहिए. बहुत ज़्यादा formal होगा तो वो जो अंदर से जो confidence, जो liveliness जो रहता है वो कम हो जाएगा. So it is not necessary to be very much formal. Okay, adopt a friendly attitude so that others put forth their ideas freely. You must have the posture of a friendly nature, so that would be very much appealing to others. Okay, use body language effectively to convey interest and sincerity in the discussion. Okay, you must be prompt, you must be uh, you must be very prompt, you must be very effective, you should show your proficiency even through body language. Okay, be objective and unbiased in the discussion. I already said this point at the very first. Next is allow others to speak. You must allow others to speak. Don't keep talking like a chatterbox. Okay, it is necessary to allow others also to speak, and we should become a good listener at that time. Recognize significant contributions by others and appreciate them. We need to appreciate others' views as well. Now, if we take up another topic, another point of group discussion, that is use persuasive strategies. Persuasive means you are so intense to convince others. तुम मान लो एक बहुत अच्छा रिसर्च पेपर लिखे हो और अपने गाइड को दिखा रहे हो. गाइड के पास, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल, गाइड के पास टाइम नहीं है, लेकिन तुम 6 महीने से एक रिसर्च पेपर लिखे हो और बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से काम किए हो, एंड तुम मतलब पहले देख के गाइड देखे कि लगे कि नहीं ये अच्छा नहीं है, बेकार है, फिर तुम इतना अच्छे से लगे रहे, इतना परसुएड किए, इतना कुछ रिसर्च किए हो, ये जो भी किए हो उसको वो दिखा के तुम इतना इंटेंस के साथ प्रूव करके दिखाए. सो ये जो पूरा जर्नी है, ये तुम्हारा रिगरस एफर्ट है, रिगरस एफर्ट, लेबरस एफर्ट, लेबोरियसनेस, दैट इज कॉल्ड परसुएसिव नेचर. ओके, सो यू नीड टू हैव परसुएसिव स्ट्रेटेजी. ऐसा एविडेंस देके तुम्हारा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू देना है, सो दैट योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू शुड नॉट बी मिस इंटरप्रेटेड. ओके, so do your homework and be knowledgeable about the topic of discussion. If there is a topic going to be discussed, then you must be aware about you should have the world knowledge about that particular topic. Show maturity while reacting to others. Okay, then listen carefully and then offer response. Always use evidence to justify your views. Always authenticate your views with evidence. Establish mutual respect, win the confidence of others, be considerate, consider others' views, don't show off your attitude in the group discussion. Be considerate, accept others' views. Be considerate means accept others' views even if they are different to what you say. Still consider. You must say, yes sir, I consider your views, but according to my opinion this is something different, but definitely I consider your points, and in the future I will try to look at from your angle as well. That shows the maturity, that shows the considerate nature. Always be friendly and respectful during group discussion, you know this. Okay, so use persuasive strategies. Being polite and firm. Now if you are too polite, doesn't mean that you are not firm, you are not determined. Okay, you need to be assertive but not aggressive in a group discussion. You should be polite, but being polite does not necessarily mean one's views is indeterminate. Your tone would be polite, you will speak in a very polite manner, but what you will say would be very firm, determined. Okay, you must express your views firmly but with polite tone, with humble tone. Okay, there is turn taking strategies. Now suppose the group discussion is going on and you need to take a turn. So taking, there are 3 points in turn taking strategies. Taking a turn means being ready to speak when one finishes is taking one's turn. Suppose you are told that after his talk you will take up. So you should be ready the moment he or she finishes off his her talk. You immediately start ready. Start speaking. So that is taking a turn. Next is holding the turn. If you are given the chance to talk, that doesn't mean that you will end up the session with your talk. You should put a full stop to your talk at a certain time. Okay, continuous talk like a voice recorder forces others to become bad listeners. You should not take this risk, right? मतलब इतना बोल रहे हो, वो भी रिस्क है कि मैं ज़्यादा तो नहीं बोल रहा हूँ तो लोग बोर हो जाएंगे. Okay, otherwise they will become bad listeners to you. Don't speak much. People do not like to listen, as you do not like to listen, so people also do not like to listen, right? So do not talk much, talk as much as required. Okay. Then yielding the turn, sign of reaching towards the conclusion. Yielding the turn, so we are going to conclude with these remarks. This is how, for example, you can understand, this is how yielding the turn. So these are turn taking strategies, right? Now this is the last point, that if you, in the meanwhile, in the during the group discussion, when the session is going on, if you want to say something, then you must use these effective intervention, like excuse me, or sorry to interrupt you, what I need to say, may I say something, can I add something. So this is how you can interrupt, and that shows the effectiveness. That doesn't sound rude at all. You must use all these expressions if you feel something necessary to be told, even during the group discussion. So this much for today. This is what is important for all of us, right? Thank you.